Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your Shauna. Let's get into this. So, I'm actually gonna apologize to you guys for the noise in the background. I'm at the casino and I can't control physically, right? So, you are actively learning to interpret that dream. That is a separate spiritual gift. So things like eating in the dream, fighting in the dream, flying in the dream, running in the dream, crying, screaming, darkness in the dream, or light are all common, right? But when you learn how to be in control of your emotions while you're dreaming, this is what begins to cause shifts in the spiritual and in the physical, ultimately, because this is, again, you actively using your spiritual gifts. A lot of people don't know that this is an actual gift, but it is. One of the main things that I've noticed about people who lucid dream, because sometimes they don't even know it's a lucid dream, they just know it's really vivid. And even if they do know the term lucid, they may not know the definition of what that means in its fullness, right? So when you have the ability to act in a dream the way you want to consciously, that's one gift. And then when you can interpret the dream, that's totally different. But the thing with interpreting dreams is you have to know if the dream is for you, if it's for someone else. That's the first thing, right? Is this you, or are you dreaming on a more broader scale? Because when you have to interpret these dreams, you have to make it where your interpretation is applicable to multiple people's situations, right? So that's like one of the main ways to know if if the interpretation is needed for yourself or for others. That's like the first layer of the dream interpretation. This is a spiritual gift. Not everyone can even remember their dreams, right? So being able to remember your dream and recite it, those are two powerful things. Not to mention being able to literally call in things into the dream or call out the dreams. It's not necessarily the healthiest thing to repeat your dreams, especially if it's not good, for multiple reasons. I know in Islam it's just frowned upon. It's something that's suggested not to occur. But I know that sometimes this is when you're most vulnerable, when you're asleep. So if someone wants to spiritually attack you, they would more than likely do it while you're sleeping. So that's like the first thing. Like I said, a lot of things can occur in your dream, and if you have the ability to remember and recite it, those are also spiritual gifts. Not everyone remembers their dreams, and some people are constantly attacked. I know recently I had woke up with all these scratches like on my legs, and I also had scratches on my face. It was like I got mauled, literally like scratches, and it didn't look like a tiger did it, but it looked like a baby kitten could have done it. They were deep. They were irritating to my skin because my skin had been broken and it was really red. So I knew that it was fresh. Now the ones on my face, I kind of was not in a deep state of sleep. I was awake, so that I could say, okay, these just came out of nowhere. But the ones that were on my legs, they had happened overnight, like while I was asleep. So I knew that I had encountered like a battle in my sleep that night. And you don't have to be asleep to be spiritually attacked. The more you use your gifts, the more your gifts are going to make themselves known to you, and the stronger they'll become. So if you have been given the gift of discernment, or if you have been given the gift of not necromancy, please don't say necromancy. If you have been given the gifts, because necromancy is using water to cast illusions and spells, and that is not what I do. I'm not into that. I don't encourage anyone ever to do spell work, the most thing you'll be encouraged to do by me is to pray, to fast, to pray. I don't even really think calling on a particular name is going to be useful to you unless you really know the actual background and the history of this deity or entity that you're calling on. So it's really important to know what you're worshiping and the actual history, right? Because I just found out that the word queen means harlot or prostitute or streetwalker or lady of the night. So we have to really just be careful on the things that we consider our own, the things that resonate with us. We need to find out why we are feeling so connected to certain things. One of the main things that I noticed is that people would be able to feel things and see things, right? So if you are clairvoyant, clairaudient, that is your ability to see into the spirit. Now that we're in 2023, a lot of people's vibration has been raised. So we all are psychic. We all have instinct. We all have discernment. We all have this ability to tap in to the spiritual world. But what happens is we begin to become polluted, and it's easier for us to hear the voice of the devil and bad spirits as opposed to the angels and good spirits, right? I would say the voice of the Lord, but if you hear the voice of God, you will know. It's not a question. I would never tell you that you are not going to be able to hear the voice of God. He'll go silent on you if you ask for something. You may not have full understanding. He may give you things and show you things as opposed to speaking to you. That's something different. But as far as communication and being influenced by different spirits and voices and things of that nature, it's always going to be a battle between good and evil, right? So this is why your ability to discern is very important. And the more you practice using that gift, the stronger and the greater you'll become at it, right? So that's one thing. Now, in terms of lucid dreams, you have to remember that we are humans. We are spirits having this human experience, and you exist in multiple realms. When you go to sleep, the you in your dream state is not the you in this physical realm. And then when we consider the ethers and just other dimensions, you exist in multiple places. If you don't believe me, why do we have deja vu? Where do we have these thoughts that come from? Because you are already sitting on a throne and in a different dimension that's it's in a higher frequency. And the more you vibrate higher, the closer you get to your higher self. And this all comes with practice. It's not just going to come out of anywhere. This takes time, and if God wants you to reach a certain plateau, He will make sure you're there with or without the help of angels or whatever. So that's another thing. But your dreams are vivid, and when you have the ability to not only recant and remember, but have the ability to have control over yourself, your emotions, and you are aware that you're in a dream, that is a lucid dream. So I really want you guys to start looking at your dreams and writing them down. Like, if you are able to write them down when you wake up, if you can remember, that's probably one of the best things you could do. Like, actually try not to forget it if it's possible, for multiple reasons. We'll get into that on a later segment. I'm just asking you guys to really start writing down your dreams if you can remember them as soon as you wake up. Even when you're still groggy and whatnot, it's really good to write them down if you know you don't do good. Everything that you can, from the words, from the scenery, if this is a similar scenery, the people, the faces, because sometimes we get visits from spirits and they cloak themselves and they appear to be one person, but they're literally not who they look like they are in the dream. It's probably a bad spirit. If they have to cloak themselves, it's probably a bad spirit. The only way a good spirit will cloak themselves is if they have a message and they know that there are monitoring spirits around and they can't necessarily share this message with you, so they have to come through as someone else. That's the only way. But even then, you will be able to make a real distinction between who they're cloaking themselves to be and who they actually are because of the message, based on what it is that they're communicating to you. Now, your spiritual gifts are not to be confused with your ego or your assumptions. You have to really, really practice in being in the dream state and using those things using your dream state and your gifts together is probably one of the best ways. So what do I mean about that? Dream interpretation. That's one. Being able to decipher what your dreams mean. Because as we know, this is a different realm. So the things in the dream state look, sound, hear, smell, feel like they can probably in the real reality we're in, but they're definitely not the things that they look like or appear to be in your dreams. So that's one thing. Secondly, being able to recant and remember is another spiritual gift. And the more you exercise your ability, the more you'll be opened up. Now, everyone doesn't have these spiritual gifts like they're given to them. Not everyone is clairvoyant. Not everyone is a seer. Not everyone, is an intercessor. So you really have to work on your relationship with the Most High to find out what your spiritual gifts truly are. That is another thing. We're going to be probably recording every day really soon, and I just want to kind of like getting you guys warmed up to the way we do things on Inappropriate Radio. I'm not reaching out to anybody for anything that doesn't have anything to do with spirituality. I am looking forward to dealing with the cards. I've been thinking about the tarot to help me exercise using my gifts a little more. So I just wanted to drop this segment because it's important that we do so. I really appreciate you guys. I want you guys to have a good evening. I hope your weekend was well. I hope you're gonna eat really good and get some really good rest. And I really, really hope that you guys are praying and fasting and doing whatever it is that helps you heal spiritually, whether it's reading your Bible or your Quran, whether it's meditation or yoga, whether it's working out, whether it's just simply sleeping and drinking your water and minding your business, right? So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and get up out of here because I am gambling right now and I did win $70. So yeah, I'm trying to get back to the point, okay? And I hope you guys are blessed and happy and at peace and doing good and feeling good, and waiting to get everything in motion. All right, so I love you guys. I hope all is well, and I hope you guys are holding it down. Alrighty now, peace.